no fussing and fighting with, back at it again. He think that we gon' fight, I got effing in. He a memory, switch is crazy. This ain't nothing like the gun I had before. You can run, you can't hide, with my niggas slide. When she tried to back door, couldn't let you in. She a memory, bitch crazy. This ain't nothing like the gun I had before. He been trying to work this out to him, but it's flying. Bitch, I don't say I was gonna do it, I catch you. Say you really wanna work this out, hell no, you try it. No excuse, no excuse. But I keep my stash box locked, my Glock stuck. But I keep my stash box locked, my Glock stuck. See, I got no, I'm gon' blow, 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 I'm gon' blow. But I keep my stash box locked, my Glock stuck. But I keep my stash box locked, my Glock stuck. Say I got no, I'm gon' blow, I'm gon' blow, I'm gon' blow. I'm gon' blow, I'm gon' blow, I'm gon' blow, I'm gon' blow.
What is up, everybody? What is up? Welcome back to the stream. Welcome back to Swag Dummy TV. And we are gonna have a conversation. I have not been able to stream because I was setting up a new setup. Shout out to my sisters. They saw your boy. They hooked me up with a new screen, couple of new mics. Gonna have the secondary camera up soon, so the full podcasts with interactive guests will be coming soon. So shout out to them. Appreciate that. Welcome back, everyone. It is your host once again, Mosa K Diamond, and we are here to educate about fitness and everything that surrounds fitness, bodybuilding, and that of the sort. Today, we are going into a very, very deep topic here. Um, it's one of the major reasons why the fitness industry as it is right now, is as big as it is. We are going into the starting a brand and how to start running a successful brand from your fitness brand. Now, by brand, I'm talking merch. I'm talking if you want to go out into making apparel, accessories that associate with your brand, how to basically make some money while venturing into fitness. Some people go into the printing of T-shirts. As you can see, I'm rocking a brand right now, Mayhem Wear, Robbie Crawford. Some people go into supplements of their own, tricky business, but what I'm going to be going through today and what I'm going to be teaching you guys is going to it basically is definitely going to be allow you to venture into any and all if you use the tools I'm giving you today. Um, I've I've had some successes with these. I've gone and studied deeper into the major brands that are very successful at this point, and I'm just gonna give you a couple of pointers and tips as to what it is they're doing to get them where they are right now. Let me just throw up the chat to make sure I'm getting all your messages. Almost forgot about that. And then we get to start. Oh yes, just a reminder. Tomorrow, ebook challenge starts tomorrow on the 7th. For all those who have already entered and prepared themselves for the 12-week ebook course. Tomorrow is the day. All right. Okay, so the chat's up. Let's get into today's topic. So, a great deal of people, almost everyone, once they start building their portfolio, building their platform, Um, this is not just fitness. This is influencing in a sense. Everybody wants to go into making money without just aiming at the views and monetization online and Instagram. You want to kind of like create a business and not be a one trick pony. So people start making merch. Obviously, there's some that get the fans to call out for it. Some people um, just want to be, multinational brands. And how you go about doing that, it's very tricky. I feel like I'm one of the best people to sit you guys down and break this down for you because I have tried and failed many times. I've made many mistakes and I've made many successes. So I'm gonna teach you um, how to go at it and start like with a little bit of a head start, right? And those are the tips I'm going to give you now. So I'm just gonna put down two or so generic examples, especially the ones I've had a hand in, so that you can kind of get an idea. But best believe that with most of these merchandise and most of these products that you want to create, they all kind of follow the same little strategy. You just got to find your niche, right? So I think the first one we're gonna pick off is like making your own apparel, gear, t-shirts, right? We're gonna do the simple version, and then we're gonna do just a little bit more complicated. If obviously that's where if passion now leads you and you want to go into somewhere that's a little bit deeper. All right. So now, let's say you've been pushing this a lot, and now you want to get into clothes. You want to start t-shirts. You want to start clothes. You want to start go. You want people to go around and start, advertising your brand on them, right? Then, of course, the first idea that most people have is t-shirts, hoodies, apparels, sweaters, jerseys, and all that of that kind. Now, first step we're going to go into is manufacturing, right? Because this is so important, right? Something I want to teach you guys that I was also always very guilty of is I never used to plan anything down. I never used to write down any of my plans, but I advise you to write things down so that you remember your steps. Because a lot of the times, right, you'll start doing something and then something will go wrong. And the best way to fix it is just by going back, following your steps, go back and just see exactly what it is you did so that you can kind of pick out what it is you did wrong and then fix it from there and move on instead of having to start from scratch. So jot down everything that you do, right? The whiteboard, the whiteboard technique is still very much a good technique. You should hold on to that. One second, I forgot to close the light. I forgot to control the light. So that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that when you go into building something, make sure that everything's jotted down so that you get it right. Okay, now boom, manufacturing, right? Obviously, manufacturing means getting your product so that you can actually have a product to sell. Now, obviously, with t-shirts and stuff, the first step is having your design, have your idea, right? Create mock-up designs of your t-shirt. I mean, everything is easily accessible now, especially with AI and designing. Create the vision, right? Allow yourself to see the vision before you start implementing any movement towards it. So design, everything's up. You have your design, you have your idea, you have the mission statement behind it, and you have the vision as to how far you want it to go. Boom, that's fine. Where things start getting tricky is when you have to start now implementing these things in real life, right? Now, patience is a big thing because, and let me tell you, this is another place where I can tell you I've been guilty. I've wanted to see something on the market the second the idea hit my mind, right? Because I immediately told myself that I'm running out of time. I need to take advantage of this thing now before someone steals the idea, blah, 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 blah. So I go into rushing, and the first mistake that most people do is start advertising a sample, right? So say you find your manufacturers, and you go online and then you start printing something and then you get someone to make something, whether the manufacturer's local or online, you make a sample. And then immediately as the sample's made, some people make the mistake of even selling something before they even have a physical sample. They get it and then they want people to order off of hype that hasn't been created yet, right? So you're gonna go on and you're gonna start telling people that you've designed this really cool thing that you don't even have, and if people want it, they should just order it from you, and then you'll print it. So some people back order a pre-launched thing. That is a huge mistake, and I don't care how popular you think you may be at that point. That is 100% way to fail at something because you will only get there's people really need to praise you or not even to worship you in order to buy something that hasn't even hit the market yet. So you want to stay away from that. You want to print your samples so that you can go. The reason you're printing your samples is that A, you can see how the thing looks like in real life, right? Are you happy? Right, you need to be happy because a lot of things are disappointing once they're physically in your hand. You need to make mistakes, you need to make changes, you need to kind of alter it. Now there's a million videos online as to when designing a logo and all this stuff, you need the 3 logos, the main one, the side one, and the merch one. No, just you can find those videos on your own. I'm telling you about the implementation and how to get it right when this is how you start making money, right? And it's not a make money in 15 days with a brand. Don't ever make the mistake of thinking that this thing should be fast in order to get it right. So you have the sample, you're wearing the sample, and then obviously you have to go to, get a second eye, right? But obviously this is where getting a team comes in, right? Obviously the vision and the start of everything, you'll be alone. But you need to make sure that you create a team early, right? And you just need to understand your leadership role within this team, that it needs to be something that makes sense, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to make the sample and you're going to take the sample and then you're going to get your team to sit down and deliberate whether you're happy with what you have and it's time to move forward, right? There's mentors all around that are willing to like look at something, but make sure you don't show everyone, because great ideas are copied all the time, and things like NDAs are important. Make sure you get your NDA signed with anybody who's working with you on the project. Make sure that everybody that's working there is signed. Like I remember saying it in a couple of videos back. Make sure everything is on contract. I think it was in my second video. Make sure everything is on paper, because you need to make sure that you protect your ideas, you protect your intellectual property, you protect everything, right? Moving forward, you're going to take that and then you're going to, once you have the sample, right, now you need to structure production, right? Most people want to take a series of samples and launch it, right? Most people take a sample and now want to go online and start selling it. Because they have the sample, they do a photo shoot. They think that the content, because most content creators, they believe in already marketing something based on the fact that they're constantly releasing content. So they think that they need to create a build-up. There's a certain stage where you create a build-up, and you only create a build-up once the finished product is already in your hands. But when you create the build-up, you're building up as if it's just coming about, it's just starting, because you need to claw it in. You need to get people in on the product that you're selling. So now you have to invest in actually having the product ready to sell without anybody knowing that it exists yet. So what do? You start buying the product, all right? You buy the product and then you go into mass production, right? I'm going to now go into a little financial bit about that, because you need to be able to invest in this idea. Business requires an investment. There's a million videos to tell you how you can become a millionaire without investing if you're smart. At the end of the day, that's not everyone. So let me give you some advice that Robbie once gave me. If you're working, if you already have a job and you're working, and you somewhat have your finance, like especially the young kids, you're just starting out and you're making some money, whether from content creation or whether from a job. Increase your line of credit, right? As at the soonest chance, go to your bank and qualify. Make sure that you qualify for a credit card, right? And then have your secure income thrown into that credit card every month and spent from the credit card, so that every month, after 3 months, that credit is going to constantly keep on growing. Make sure there's a little bit left over. But if when you become dependent on that credit to the bank, they constantly increase your credit. After 6 months to a year, um, they would have seen that by just following your history, that you can qualify for a big enough loan for you to start up a business, right? The most important thing, if you've ever read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, it tells you never start a business with your own money. By own money, don't start a business with savings. Because every time you purchase something, you're going to want to be paying yourself back. And that's a failed technique, because every time you purchase a t-shirt and every time you sell a t-shirt, you're going to deduct what you spent without allowing the business to grow. So always make sure that you get some sort of funding structure ready, so that for 6 months to an entire year, you're not looking at the profit of this business. This business has to grow without you pulling from it. Because once a year hits and you're talking dividends and everything like that, then you'll finally be in a position of growth to move on. Everything should be about expense, profit, expense, profit. Don't put yourself, if you want to give yourself a salary, you can, but make sure that you start giving yourself a salary 6 months in, when the business is already supporting itself. Don't that's why every time when you go and get funding, always include an extra amount that's supposed to maintain you for the entire year, so that you do not pull from the business. So every time when you build a business plan or a structure, make sure that in that business plan and structure, you have it written that, hey, capital for working capital. That working capital is just to make sure that you don't go broke. You can travel, you can do the meetings, you can source everything. That money needs to be there to make sure that you can move around. Otherwise, you're going to start eating money from the production money, and then it's always going to end up being a fail. Okay, boom. So now you have your money, you're going into production, you're happy with the sample. What's next? You need to make sure that you order for the full site or website or product line or launch, right? So what you're going to do, you're going to make sure you order every single size. You do surveys. That's why you get a team. You go around and you find out from other companies, okay, what are the most bought body sizes, right? Small, extra small. If you're focused on ladies, men, it's medium, large, and extra large. The 2XL, obviously in the bodybuilding thing, everybody wants to feel like they're a 2XL. They're not always a 2XL, right? So you got to focus on, you got to make sure that you're saving money. It doesn't matter if you've received financial assist. You need to make sure that you're constantly saving money, but you need to make sure that you do things right. So you go for the sizes from extra small to extra large, and those are the same units, right? So you're going to get 100 extra small. You're going to get 100 small. This is your launch, right? You need to plan that each one of them, 100 of each of these sizes, right? They're going to make you your money back. They're going to hit big, right? So you got to have all of these ready, designed and everything, right? You don't need a warehouse per se in the beginning. Turn your garage or turn an extra room into the house, and you can start it off from there. Because one thing I learned the hard way is, if you do not need to rent a space, don't rent a space, right? Because you're going to end up only paying the landlord, and you're going to lose all that money. I once ran a shop without having, I was running a shop without having the proper amount of clients. I rushed into it because I saw an opportunity in an area, and I paid the landlord for a whole year, and I didn't see the profits, and I was just coming to work to feel like I was coming to work. So make sure that when something leaves your house or area of operation, you know that the reason is because you need it, and the business itself is supporting it, right? If you end up printing the things yourself, and now you have a warehouse, and now you need more employees, then obviously you can't have people coming to your house every day. Boom, rent out a space. But the business needs to be able to support the rental, not you. Don't ever rent out if rental is going to be coming out of your own pocket. It should never happen. If you get to that point, then understand that you're making a mistake. Okay, boom. Now you've made all the premium sizes, right? 100 of each unit. Because what? You need to make sure that you're aiming high, right? You're really aiming to ball out with this. Okay, so now boom, you got the 100 units of each from extra small to extra large, and then you cater for the special sizes, but only to something that makes sense. So the double XL for the bigger guys, you're probably gonna get like 30 units of those limited editions because you're still surveying the market. There's certain things that you're gonna be trying out even when you're prepared, and there's certain things that you're going to be doing because you're prepared. All right. So there's certain things where you're going to be sure this is the market that you need to be targeting, and there's certain things that you're going to be going all out to. Um, you'll be experimenting, right? But okay, boom. So now you have the t-shirts. Everything is ready. What is the next step? The next step, once you have everything product-wise, is now creating hype, right? Now you got to start marketing because now you have the finished product. It's with you. It's packaged. Everything is ready, right? If you're a content creator, then you can record you doing the process, but don't launch anything until it's time for this step right here, which is the marketing step. So what's going to happen now? What happens now is you're going into the point where now you got to get people excited about it, right? So now you create a campaign, you create a page, and you create a website. But you have to create hype and anticipation. So you're creating all these things with coming soon, coming soon. We're going to be launching something big. You're creating anticipation, right? Now, this is something that's very important, right? And I almost wrote it in the wrong part on my page here. The brand's image. If you are the main content creator for all of this, then you are your brand's image, right? Um, Depending on how large you want to grow, I would never really necessarily make yourself the face of something unless you're already big enough to support it on your own. That's great. But you want a brand to be able to survive without a face, like Nike, like Coca-Cola. You want things to be able to sell without people having to depend on your reputation for the brand. So whether you make it sound like a partnership or whatever, you need to make sure that the image of your brand is something that is wanted in the industry, right? A lot of ladies, when they go into the weight loss stuff, like these waistbands and these extra stuff, obviously you need to be of image. You can't be someone who doesn't look like they use the product. So um, when it's products that are intimate to your image, then you always have to keep your image in check. But what you want to do, and what some really big companies do, and I'm going to touch on that a little bit later because I don't want to get sidetracked, is they make partnerships with people who have already achieved a very large image, and then they use that person's fan base in order to attract sales and all that stuff. But if you're going from scratch and you're obviously starting off with something that no one is really going to know off the bat, then you need to be very creative, then associate it with something. For obviously, I speak against fitness stuff, so now you're going to start associating it in fitness spaces. All right, so you're going to take the product and then you're going to start. Then you're going to start with the photo shoots, right? Just back to the manufacturing part. Even the stuff that you're going to do promotions with needs to be written. Don't take it off the sales production stuff. Whatever goes to the website goes to the website. Whatever goes to the field store goes to the pop-up store goes to the pop-up store. Make sure that you include promotional packages in the manufacturing budget. Don't just pull stuff from the manufacturing budget. You are going to regret it later, right? Because you're gonna end up being a people pleaser with stuff that's the stock. Whereas if you know that this was made for promotional, then you're gonna respect it even more because you're gonna be like, okay, whoever we're including in the promotional package or when we're doing the photo shoot stuff, we cannot be wasting money, right? Okay, so back to the image. Now you have your promotional gear and you're doing photo shoots, right? In the startup, it's not easy. It's not easy to get other influencers to join your product. It's not easy to get other people to sign up to what it is you're selling, because right now everybody wants to have money. Everyone wants money to be involved in the aspect of, if you're gonna get me to talk about your product, you're gonna need to pay me. So another way to go about it is make some promotional packages and gift certain people that you know will respond well, certain people that will respond well to the package that you send them, and yeah, get it. Sorry about that. And so you get it, and then you make like a promotional package, and then you send it. Um, then you send it out to people. So there, you just ask that maybe they'll unbox and then they'll just reveal, okay, I got a gift, and then they're showing it out, and that's like, and then you literally list there that listen, this brand is coming out soon. This brand is coming out soon, and we want you to have an exclusive taste as of the brand that's coming out. And obviously, people are going to post about it, and there's going to be hype. Also start a conversation with the people that you're sending things out to, because obviously, going to know everybody's address. So you're going to hit them up and say, hey, we have this new brand. We'd like to send you a gift. We'd like to send you a little gift to just to get you to see the product and to try it out. And this is for you. If you can just give us an address, we can send you stuff at, or we don't even ask for anything major. Just when you receive it, please do an unbox and just a shout out when you receive it, and just let people be aware. And then from there it's up to us, and then you take that and you convert it anyhow you want, right? We're still on t-shirts. Other products, like I said, you still do the same thing, but obviously if it's something consumed, then obviously there's a different way to go about it, but it's still the same structure, right? Now, that's within the first stage of marketing. You start sitting around, but now you're also doing the photo shoots. You're building up a whole portfolio. The thing has to have a full image at the end of the day. There's a booklet. There's everything that's involved in the startup of this brand. And then the most important thing is now you got to structure this whole thing to the calendar, right? Because now you got to monitor when is the right time to drop this, right? Say, for instance, you've invested in t-shirts, right? Say you just got the t-shirts and now you're starting your marketing campaign, but by the time you launch the campaign, it's going to be winter, right? And people don't mind ordering t-shirts, but they're going to be covered up. Or by the time they actually wear it, because they'll be wearing warmer clothing, it's going to be, it's the hype would have been forgotten because you're trying to make sales, right? So you need to aim for your season, right? Some things are all year round, but some things are not. Even hoodies have their time where they follow. So now if you're marketing a t-shirt, then you would want to start in winter. You want to start marketing in winter, right? And you want to start getting people hype in winter about this t-shirt line, right? And my advice is always give yourself 3 months to market something that's coming for the next season. My advice is that you take the full time it will take you, those 3 months of winter, to get, once spring hits, have pre-orders and have the drop date and the purchase and delivery date for this whole brand. Have it on the 1st of spring, right? Or the first day of summer if you were a bit late. But that's what you want to do. You want to make sure that by the time people are invested in it, it's because they would have wanted it and they would have wanted to wear it the moment they get it. Nobody likes ordering something and using it later. I have yet to meet someone that gets a delivery or something and be like, okay, I'll use this in winter. By the time winter gets there, they forget they had it because they would have bought what was necessary, or the necessity of that time at that point, and then they'll forget, right? They'll forget hard about what it is that you are trying to do. So make sure that by the time you start sending your stuff out to people, that they're ready to put it on, because that group of people, the first buyers, they're your market base. They are going to be your ambassadors, right? So now, what is one of the most important things, and one of the things that the big companies have managed to achieve in a brand before in order to ensure its longevity and just to make sure that it comes right. And if you go back into my first and second videos, I was speaking about something called a cult following, right? You need to get people to believe that they're a part of the brand without losing money. Everything should make sure that you gain money. So how does it go about? I'll give you good examples. Brands like Young LA, Gymshark, um, Ghost Energy, those companies, right? What they did is they created a community-based marketing scheme where they made owning it a flex in a community space. It's like a high school frat type of marketing scheme where the quarterback gets the jacket with his name on it, and everybody wants to be the quarterback, right? But they get several different type of people that create that type of image and associate it with their brand, because you want everyone that you want to associate with your brand needs to be a people's person and a people's champ type of um, marketer, right? You want to make sure that the person selling your brand is likable, not desirable. Because some people are desirable, but they're assholes. And you see, some people if you look at it like this, there's in the bodybuilding space, there's a lot of angry bodybuilders that go into marketing and they make a brand, but they have this whole unapologetic up yours image, and then people buy things to impress those people. They don't buy them to support those people. And impressing someone can only go so far because that person gets caught up in their own ego and it doesn't sell anymore, right? You want someone that interacts with their fan base so that when they start wearing something, that fan base wants to wear it because that person's wearing it, because they saw it on them, they desire it because they loved it on someone else. That is how women are marketed to in the stores. I love this dress on this person. If you go on Shein, they always look at things and they saw someone wearing it. Fashion Nova has also like perfected this. They make something and then they throw it in people's faces, get some beautiful models that don't necessarily interact with people. They just love for being beautiful, and then things sell out because there's a desire based on wanting, liking that person and liking what it looked like on that person and wanting to be like that person and not wanting to impress that person. You see, because no woman buys something because they want to impress another woman. They buy it because they want to stand out, but they have to see it somewhere. So you want to make sure that you create a community thing. So create promotions that involve people, and this is based on your brand, right? So before your brand even properly launches, be a part of events, right? Pitch up at an event and sell. Like we're talking about, this is where you got to really plan, because let's say, like I told you, you're planning 3 months before the drop. So the month of the drop, right? The month of the drop, now you start giving out exclusives at pop-up stands, right? So now you're very close to a release, and now you're at a show. And remember, you got to be active online. So now you announce to people, hey, so and so, we're going to be at this place and we are going to be selling a limited amount of the t-shirts before they actually drop for the website. So if you're at this event, you're going to be the first ones to get it, yada yada yada, boom boom boom, sold out. That's what you want, because people are going to come flooding, right? And also have giveaways. Get people to want to be affiliated to the brand, right? And then this is where we got to go deeply into the ambassadors, right? So prior to launching something, you want to have ambassadors already there. So that's why I'm saying the promotional budget needs to be tight. The promotional budget everything needs to be calculated for, because you want to launch with people already talking about your brand. So you need to pick the right ambassadors, and you need to make sure that the ambassadors are look now, Young LA, before they make a drop, they send the entire line. They send the entire clothing line to each person, and those people will make a video with getting dressed in every single piece of clothing, right? They're gonna dress up in everything, and then they're gonna make a video, and they're gonna tell you, listen, the day to get it isn't on this day. It's gonna be live on the website. You need to make sure that you chose the right people. So you can't just jump into this business without investing money, right? Some people take up just gear deals. Some people take up barter splits with percentages on the website. Make sure that you market it to the right people, but have a structure that's written down, and make sure that you sit down with the right type of people. NDA is also important. So you sit them down and say, listen, this brand, we are launching it, blah, 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 blah. And make sure you get, look, honestly, your aim is to get 5 people that you know for sure is going to get you your money back. And you go hard into that, right? You go hard, and then you put it out there. So now this is the month before release, right? I mean, if you want examples and stuff like this, go on this page Dog Sport. They do exactly that. They invest in fact, they invest so hard in their ambassadors that they've created a cult. They've got the NFGU, never fucking give up. Like their brands are, every launch that they make is based on a community cult, like they group, right? Every single thing is based on groups. Group this, group this, group that. They have the lucky Libra versions. They got the Dorian Yates. They got the Ronnie Coleman. You see, obviously, once you've grown high enough, you can go for the big stars and really budget and then make partnerships, right? As this is in the longer term, but make partnerships. So you go in after your first drop, things are going well. Within the first year, you did so well that you can make a partnership with someone, and you talk about royalty and split deals, like Nike, Adidas, and Reebok. That's continue. That's how you continue. That's how you stay in the game. But right now, we're talking about how you launch in the game. So you get your 5 ambassadors. Make sure that they're people's people. Invest whatever you can in getting them to give you their proper attention. Make sure that everything's on paper so that you guys understand each other. Right? Don't gamble, because the truth is, unless you're going into the retail area, like shopping centers within specific areas, where you're obviously going to choose ambassadors from those areas. But if your market is online, then you want to make sure that you get that right. Okay. Website also, you got to make sure that you get your shipping and your everything needs to be proper. Everything needs to be ready to go before anyone even knows it exists. And that is proper planning for finances. Don't get caught up in the whole AI can get you to do it in 3 weeks, and then now 10 weeks later you've already sold $1 million. No, it needs to make sense on paper. Just because AI exists, don't run away from the old guerrilla types of marketing. Get in people's faces, right? Flyers, events. Get into a point where you're physical, right? Giveaways. That should all be within the budget, right? So by the time everything launches, you are now a success. Trust me, getting this level of knowledge required a great deal of failures, right? So you want to get this, you want to be able to implement this by being slow with it. Take your time and then aim. Okay, boom. Are we just dropping one t-shirt, or are we dropping a line, right? Then you survey, you sample everything. Whether it's one t-shirt, whether it's a whole line of clothing, whether it's a full tracksuit, what doesn't matter. Everything I've told you now, take every single step for one product or 50 products, and just do every single step the way I've told you, and you're gonna get it right. Right? Now with ambassadors, back to the ambassadors point. Choose people that work. Don't choose people that you're just simply a fan of. Unless the reason you're a fan of them is because of their work ethic. Because trust me, you will be disappointed. I have been disappointed many times. I have invested in the wrong people many times. And I have suffered from it a great deal of the times. And you always go back to the drawing board. Right? Don't give people stuff if they don't look like they're working for themselves, right? At one point, it just looks like charity. And they're going to make you feel like you owe them, but you're not making a cent from them, right? Focus on people that are going to be able to convert money back into sales, right? That's the whole point. Don't. You're not an NGO. You're not an NGO, you're not an NPO, and you're not trafficking or laundering money. You're trying to make a business, okay? So you need to be harsh with these things. You need to literally, you need to do your research on people. You need to look at the engagement. You need to look at how people, like go into an area and see how many people talk about, I listened to this person because I heard this advice and I heard it from this person. I listened to this because I heard it from this person. I trained this way because of this person, right? Those are the people that you want to affiliate with your brand. There's this brand that I know that was very successful in this method, GBT, Get Better Today brand by Russell O'Heary. And as much as he was seen as the image of the brand, he was able to make it a brand where he was able to contribute, to collaborate with others, and that's how he grew with it. He's gone quiet right now, but the concept is still the same. Be able to work with others. But if you've ever read books like The 48 Laws of Power, if you're going to be a boss, get people to do work for you. Delegate. Treat it like a real business, right? Whether you're producing in your own bedroom or you're printing in your own house, whether you get a print machine, buy the blanks, all that other stuff, whether you're doing all that other stuff and then you're starting the brand at home, treat it like a business that has 100 employees. Make sure that everybody who's contributing is there for a reason, right? Don't just give things away. Don't go about your way to, don't waste money, because trust me, when you're left with all those products and nobody's buying, you're just going to be left with t-shirts and debt, a heavy amount of debt, and no one's going to help you out of that debt. You could do 1,000,000 GoFundMes, I promise you, where people will enjoy your failure more than they'll enjoy your success. So make sure that you treat it with the utmost respect and the utmost precision, right? Now, we've done community marketing, we've done image, we've done marketing, okay, so continuity is when you plan. So once one thing is launched, right, making something as exclusive as you possibly can will always be a good marketing point. So like if we go back to step one in the manufacturing, you've made 100 units of each. Once those 100 units are done, that line is closed, right? Make sure that line is closed and start promoting. Once it's sold out, whether it's sold out for real or you lied to people, or it's sold out and it's genuine, close that chapter, archive it, put it in the books, right? And then start promoting the next line with the same, like the moment you've already started promoting and the sales are coming in, once something is sold out, go back to the drawing board and then you do the exact same thing for the next line that's coming out in 3 months, which is the next season, right? That's just how you go about it. You don't just, it's not just a once-off thing. You got to constantly do this in order to keep on growing. So now you're focusing on the next line. You're focusing on the next you focus on the next season. And you can always double back next year, right? So you're going to look at your sales. After a year, you're going to sit down and say, okay, what was our best sellers? You're going to see out of all the colors and everything, okay, out of this line, the original white tee with the black print, right, was the best seller. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to create a new line next year, but we're going to reintroduce this one as a backed by popular demand, right? You're still introducing a new line, but you're not redoing the exact same steps, because you already know what the people want, right? You already know what the people want, what the people are willing to buy. And there's people who regretted not getting this line the previous year, and they've wanted that one, but it was out of their hands. You see it every day with the when Nike drops a Jordan, when Adidas drops Stan Smith. You see it all the time. When I wanted them, I couldn't get them, but now it's the following year. boom, it's summer, and they have the one that I wanted by popular demand, and then just sell it off, right? And then that's how you stay in the game. That's how you stay strong in the game, right? Now, that was a like t-shirts and branding and stuff, right? Let's go into um, consumables like drinks, protein shakes, and all that other stuff. It's the same thing, right? So now, when you want to go into consumables and it's more than one product, then you have to be careful because you some people definitely want to launch everything all at once, but um, to get it right, you need to make sure that you don't go don't bite off more than you can chew. Don't take in products that have still yet to break into the market, into the industry, unless you've done your research, right? Um, so if it's a singular product like an energy drink, then you can use the marketing scheme that I gave you with the shirts. You're dropping one drink, associate the brand with someone big, especially with sports drinks. You see it every day. Um, when 50 Cent took vitamin water, he was the image of the brand, and then he built it so high with the whole community base and his advertising and his market. He sold it to Coca-Cola. I think Ghost Energy sold to Dr. Pepper. I believe they sold to Dr. Pepper, but they also sold for multi millions because they made a community base out of it. So everything that I've explained in the t-shirts, you know. So with consumables, you just got to get it right because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. I'm not discouraging it, but you need to make sure that you dot all your T's and you dot all your I's and cross all your T's when it comes to what it is that people actually have to take into their bodies. With supplements, right? Now you can go about launching the products that you know work. So you're gonna launch your supplements. You got your whey protein, you've got creatine, you've got pre-workout, you've got aminos, right? Those and maybe fat burners. Some people don't all venture that way, but those are like your big four. Pre-workout being your big one. Your brand needs to be known for a specific thing as its headliner, and then grow off the other ones in terms of quality, in terms of taste, in terms of production. Now, if you want one specific brand to carry your whole range, then you can associate it with a specific image. But if you want your whole brand to be carried out as quality, clean, and great product, you don't necessarily want to add your face to that product or to that brand. You want the brand to speak for itself. Now, this is more about going into business. This is not about starting a brand associated with being a content creator or a fitness influencer or a bodybuilder. Now you're going into business. And I think I'm just going to touch on it now, but when going into it like that, you really want to go deep into it. And you want to sit down. So I'll probably make another video about it. But when you go into all those brands and you're not the face, then the community marketing structure still works, but you need to associate it with an already established group of people. Don't be the face of the brand. Allow the brand to arrogantly seem like it can survive without anyone because of how high quality is. Now you're selling the quality, you're selling the brand. You got to take your time to establish a survey / testimonial base, and then that's all in the marketing. So if you're just launching a pre-workout, then you can launch it with as a brand to yourself, and then you can use the previous marketing schemes that I just gave you now. But anything deeper than that, you want to be careful. So that's it. Whether you are starting a t-shirt, a full tracksuit hoodie range, starting a sneaker, if this is not just even clothing, like some people are going in, like I know some ladies are definitely venturing into the cosmetic side, the oils, the ebooks and all that other stuff. You really want to make sure that anything that you're selling out for a consumer base, you need to make sure that you're ready, right? E-commerce, retail, you want to make sure that you're ready because you need to get to a point. I remember when we first started t-shirts and we all had like 10 t-shirts and we tried approaching the big retailers to sell our brand. And when they give you that paper asking, can you supply us? That's when the reality hits you where you want to start supplying for a major retailer and you want them to put your stuff in their stores and they ask you is, do you have 10,000 units? We're here with t-shirts hoping to get funding to do that. Yeah, please market our t-shirts, buy them. No. You see, when you're going up against the big dogs, you have to have big dog numbers, right? But if you're doing it privately, you want to focus on exclusivity, like Gucci, like Louis Vuitton, like Tom Ford. Those people have a range that's accessible to a lot of people, but even then, it's exclusive. Once a size is out, it's out. You can order a million times unless you know the owner. You're not getting a special made signage. You're not, and that's what you want your business to be associated with. You want your business to be known as the brand that was so difficult to get that the moment you say something's coming out, you go in hard. So follow every step, even if you have to save this video and watch it a million times. Always follow the steps the way I put them out. Manufacture. Start off with the idea. Put the idea on a piece of paper. Get your team together. Once your team's together, start manufacturing. Even if your team is your family, make sure everything's on contract. Start manufacturing. Once you're done manufacturing, once the product is ready to sell, it's not ready to sell until you market it. It's not leaving your house until 1,000 people are talking about it. You need 1,000 sales in your first drop. You need to put down a minimum down. I need 1,000 sales the day we drop this. The weekend we drop this, the 1st of spring, whatever date you put on, right? And then don't have too many sales. Private brands fall victim of doing too many discount sales to please. Don't do that. Make it seem like it's hard. Sometimes take the pinch. Sell it at one thing and then wait for Black Friday. Wait for one sales point in the whole year to actually do the sales. And the reason you're doing it at the end of the year is to get rid of all the things that didn't sell in the previous drops, right? You're getting rid of everything. That's when you're going to relaunch the stuff that stayed behind. Black Friday, go on the website. These are the limited sizes. These are limited spaces. This is everything that's left. And you can get it for 10% off. And that is how you remake your money at the end of the year. So I hope you guys managed to understand what it is I was trying to tell you. If you wish to know more, my DMs are open on all platforms. And I'll be happy to go into deeper. If there's a subject you wish me to touch in on, please do message me on whatever platform you follow me on, and then we can definitely go into it. Everything I do, I'll definitely prepare. But one thing you should know for sure is that my door's always open. Someone was asking me the other day, like, hey, while you're doing your videos, why don't you play games? I said, the reason I don't play games is because I teach game, and it's just that simple. So if you're on my platform, it's because you want to better yourself. I'm not about to play Fortnite in order to get my point across. Those who listen get better. Those who don't will have to suffer the consequences of the people that do listen to me, because what I say works and everything goes through. So make sure you hit me up on my socials. DM me if it's possible. And I will be back with Daystream 7. So thank you guys for joining, and please, thank you for watching Swag Dummy TV.